Yeah, so hello everyone. I want to take us through a little bit of C programming, just an introduction of it. And C programming is actually structured programming, and you must have already covered a few things of it, especially the basics, the syntax. Yeah, so if you open an IDE or a programming environment for a C compiler, this is the basic syntax you always find there. And I hope that you guys know uh, what each of these statements mean. Hash include stdio.h. You must be knowing what the int main is, and you must be knowing what the return zero statement means. So the hash include that is the first statement of your code. So you must always ensure that you include these three basic statements in your code. Okay. So it is a standard input output library, and it contains various functions. The basic ones being the printf function and the scanf function. Those are some of the basic functions that are in the standard input output, because most of the programs we make in structured or in the C language, we want a program that is interactable with. You know, you want to input data, and at the same time, you want it to output data for you on console. So let's start with this. I'm sure you guys know uh, what the int main is. The int main is the main method or the main function, and with time after a few videos, we'll go through what functions are, how they work, and how they perform. So a function can contain a parameter or parameters, but for the main function or the int main is the method that contains all code that is going to be executed by the C compiler. So you can see like in this is the C. This is the function int main, and we expect this to return a zero. Okay. If you have only main, that is also okay. You can have main alone, but where you have main alone, you don't need to return a zero. Otherwise, if you are having an int main, it means that the execution code of that is going to return a zero, meaning that the code has been executed successfully. Else, you don't have anything. So inside that program or inside, like I told you, everything that we want to run in our code is put in this int main. So let me assume you guys already know what variables are. You know what the printf is, you know what the scanf is. But I will just go straight and go through this slowly so that you guys can easily understand what I'm actually talking about for you. Just to unlock this a little bit for you. So what does a print function do? A print function is used to output something from the code onto the console for you to see. So something that you want the program to run for you and you see it on screen is put in a print function. Okay. Just like it is a printf. Its function is to print something for you, output something for you, and you are able to see it on screen. So let's try. Let's have a few printfs, and you never know, we can easily understand what it is. So you can have a print function, and maybe what you want to output is uh, your name, and maybe your name, and maybe teach you a few of the things later, maybe a student number. You want a program that will display your name and a student number. So you will have something like this. And always remember that after every statement, you have to terminate. Okay. When you're working function with other functions, you'll find that you don't have to terminate. on some things, but when you are in the body of your code, okay, in the body of your code, I'm meaning this space here is the body of your code. Everything that is within this, these are color brackets, is the body of your code that is supposed to be executed. Like I said, everything within the main method is the one that is executed for you to see on screen. So I want to run something. I want to run a code or a program that is going to output for me this stack. Then it outputs for me. It outputs for me the student number. Hope this is going to work for you guys the way I want it to work. But also you need to remember that for every code you want to run must be saved. Every code you want to run must be saved, and it must be saved as a C source file. So you can name this as a C source file. Yeah, and what we want to do is to run and check if this is actually going to run. Yeah, so we say yeah, and I wait for the output. Wait for the output of this. It's taking a little bit longer, but it should have already output for you something. So there's no problem so far. The code is okay. So you can print multiple things. You can print multiple things, and you check them out to see if the things will run. Expect them to run. It's still compiling, as you can see the screen, but let me continue. It will output later. So the print statement is used to print or to output something on screen for you to see. So this could be it. You have a printf. So this is the output of the first line that I had. It took a little bit longer, but you saw that in the first line I had stack, then I gave space there like it is here. This is a tab key. You know, a tab key leaves space. So where you want to leave a huge space than a space than the one that the space bar can give, you can use backslash T for tab. If you want to go to another line, you can use backslash N. Okay, but that could be it. That could be it. Basically, that could be it. So this was our output. I don't know whether you guys saw what that output actually was, but you must have seen the output. So this is for outputting. The function printf is for outputting something for you. Now there's also another function called the scanf. The scanf function is used to get input from the user's keyboard, and it inputs into the computer's compiler, C compiler on the console. Okay, so what the scanf does is it captures information. It enables you the use of the program to input something into your program as it is running. So you must be aware of different uh, data type specifiers or identifiers while you're inputting something. And for this case, that will take me to variables. That will take me to variables. And I hope you guys know what variables are. A variable is a container. It is an identifier of something. Okay. So you may want to store students' names, students' marks. You may want to store anything. Okay. You may want to store anything, or you may want a program that will have different kinds of data. So how will you be able to store that data? You store that data in what we call identifiers or variables. But these variables, to them, they must be attached to data types. And at this stage, I think you guys know what data types are. So an example of a data type, or let me just give you a few data types in C. So you have int, is a data type. You have a float is a data type. You have a character as a data type. Okay, these are the major data types that you guys are going to be working with in C. So where you have this data type int, it means that the value that is going to be stored in the identifier, maybe max, okay, is going to be a variable, or it's going to be of data type integer. You know, integers are all numbers without we're talking about numbers that are whole numbers without decimal points. So that could be it. Then a float, those are going to be numbers, but numbers which have what? Which have numbers which have decimal points. Okay. Then character means that you're going to store values that have characters of text L, K, B, C, D, E. All those are characters. Okay, and where you have a character set like that, sometimes you always have to define. You always have to define. You have to define. You have to define the size of the variable. How many characters do you want that variable to store? Okay, so uh, uh, so you should think of data types whenever you're defining a variable. I told you should think of a variable as a name to a value. A value is stored in a variable. So if you're looking for marks, you will not find marks that are not attached to a course unit or a subject. So in this case, the subject name may be mathematics or maybe structured programming as a course unit becomes the variable. Then the marks that are stored in that variable or that are attached to that variable are the value that are assigned to the variable. So let us look at a float, at an integer max, okay? So there's an integer called max, and we expect it to store a value which is of type int. So we don't expect that value to have any decimal point. So this will be it. So you could have max, and you assign to that variable max. Let's assume the max are 12. Okay, max are 12. So we read this equal sign in mathematics as equal to. In programming, we call it an assignment operator. What is on the right, we assign it to what is on the left. Okay, so how can you read this in programming? You can say 12 is assigned to variable max. If you had another variable, maybe int age, you could have something of the sort. Okay, so you could have this as 53 is assigned to the variable age. Okay, if you had another variable, maybe called what, math. Maybe we are storing max for math. You could have maybe a 34 there. So you could say that 34 is assigned to the variable what? Math. There is no crime with reading it as equal to. You could also say age is equal to a 33, a 50, a 53. Or you could say math is equal to a 34, no problem. But this is an operator. Okay. And I hope you guys have already gone through what operators are. So this is an assignment operator. It assigns what is on the left, or it assigns what is on the right to what is on the left. Okay, so 34 is assigned to the variable max. In other words, the variable max is storing the value of 34. The variable age is storing the value 53. The variable max is storing the value 12. Okay, so if you want to output that, you would say printf. If you want to output a value that is stored in a variable, you would output that in a print function. So you would have that as a printf, and maybe say age of maybe stack is, the edge of maybe stack is a percentage D. You guys should know what these identifiers or conversion specifiers are. So there's percentage D, there's percentage C, there's a percentage F. You should go through them and know that you're supposed to use them whenever you're outputting a variable. Okay, so that is the value. So I want to output something that the edge of stack is percentage D. Now, percentage D is actually representing the kind of data that is stored in edge. Okay, the data type is integer, but its conversion specifier is a percentage D, not percentage I. Okay, so when you're outputting a value that is of integer, you will have to use a percentage D. Okay, so we have that, and what we are outputting is a value that is stored in edge. So I would say the edge of stack is percentage D, and I'm using this AND operator to output a variable which is edge. Okay, you should really go through these operators so that you don't get confused of what they actually mean. So the percent the different operators are going to be used by you multiple times, even in other programming languages, I can say. So whenever you want to store a value, I mean, you want to output a value that was assigned to a variable, you would have to put that in a print statement like this is it. The edge of stack is this, and you output that edge. Okay. So outputting the edge, you would simply. Sorry, at first I gave you an and here, but you use that and when you're in the scanf function, or when you're in the scan function. But you would simply have this. The edge of stack is percentage D for the data type that we want to output, and then you put the variable name, and you know that we have already assigned a value to that variable. So the next step would be for you to save this program, especially if you're using Dev++, you always have to save your program as a new program multiple times. Otherwise, if you have worked on your code and saved it multiple times, sometimes you'll not get the new changes. You have to save again, and you know you'd have to save that code again so that you get the new changes. So I need to run this code and I see if it outputs for me something that I expect it to. So it doesn't. It is giving me the previous. Giving me the previous. So I have to resave this. Save as. No. Save as two. I hope this really works, but so it's not working. My antivirus is blocking the application from running. But if you run this code, it should actually output for you what you have coded. Okay. Similarly, if you want to output the other variables, you could simply have something of max equal to percentage D, and yeah, you put here the variable max, the variable max. Don't always forget that you have to terminate after every. You always have to terminate after every code of line, except for a few that you don't have to terminate. So I don't know if this is going to run when my antivirus is blocking. So So it is not going to run, but for the next video, I will have sorted out this for you so that you can really know what how the things are going to run. Else, you can also try these very things on your phone. There's an application called Coding C++, something of the sort. Can help you. But you should now know what a variable is for data types. There are different data types. You can go through them and try them on your own. Or you know what the print function is, and you've already done it even in class. So I'd like to just stop here. You can watch my next video, which I think will run better. Thank you so much.